My beloved child, if one day I tell you that your time on earth has come to an end and I have come to bring you home, would your heart overflow with joy, or would it be heavy with a sense of things left undone, as if a portion of your life remains unfinished? I ask this not to plant fear in you, but to stir a solemn reflection. Have you truly lived fully, as I have called you to? There are souls who, when they hear the summons home, smile in peace, because they know they have poured out each day every drop of sweat, every prayer for a holy purpose. Yet there are hearts that remain disoriented because they have not walked the full path I opened before them. Dear one, examine yourself today, lest when that moment arrives, you regret not having had the courage to live with fullness of meaning. Listen closely, precious one, for in every word I speak there is the echo of an eternal assurance. I do not speak empty words, and every utterance of mine carries the power to build, to heal, and to uphold. Your journey from the tentative first steps to the bold leaps of faith lies within my watchful gaze. Your tears, your laughter, even the stumbles that seemed impossible to recover from, all become part of a vast, sacred canvas. You never walk alone in this earthly realm. I walk in rhythm with you, composing a symphony in which each beat of your heart is a note, and every experience is a refrain tinged with unfailing love. Remember that this love is not confined by time or space. It transcends every dimension, pierces through every barrier, and no force can separate you from it. As Scripture affirms, "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from the cross love of God." Romans 8:3, 8:39. This promise is not meant merely to comfort you when read. It is meant that you may grasp with certainty that every breath of yours is cradled by an everlasting embrace. Therefore, rather than fearing the final moment, learn to live as if each day were the last gift I give. Do not let unhealed wounds or unmet ambitions chain you in a web of regret. Instead, use every minute to sow seeds of love, to bear witness to your faith, to lift songs of thanksgiving. Walk with the confidence that wherever you are and whatever you do, the music of your life will close on a complete and resonant chord. I do not call you to worldly perfection, but I call you to faithfulness, to keep your heart whole and to let my light shine through the smallest of your deeds. Do not forget that this symphony is not composed for you alone, but reverberates to touch those around you. Your laughter may bring solace to the desperate, your tears may testify to endurance, and your faltering steps may inspire others to follow. No part of your life is wasted so long as you place it in my hands. When the last day draws to a close, you will not be trembling, because you will know your song has blended with the heavenly melody, where I, who am the Alpha and the Omega, await to gather you into an embrace that never withers. Live today as though I might come at any moment, and let the joy of meeting me be the motive that carries you through hardship. Do not wait until time is nearly spent to prepare. Prepare now, so that when the call sounds, you may lift your head, smile, and say, "Lord, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." In that instant, the heavens will break into song, and I will call your name and lead you into everlasting rest in a love that never changes. Live so that when the days end, you can look back upon your life without turning away in regret. Live with open hands to give, with ready feet to go where needed, with a mouth willing to speak truth in love. That is how you craft a worthy ending, not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful to the calling I planted in your heart. If anything still weighs on you, relationships that need mending, dreams not yet touched, words left unsaid, let me invite you to begin the healing today. Do not allow regret to be the final chapter of your story. Let it instead be the catalyst that propels you one more step in love, a courageous step, a sincere apology, a decision to lay down shame and offer hope. Sometimes the miracle you long for comes not as a thunderous sign, but in the humble form of a brave step taken in obedience and love. My beloved child, do not let your heart hastily conclude that this moment is an everlasting separation. In truth, it is a sacred transformation. When the curtain of the earthly realm falls before your eyes, do not imagine that darkness has come to end things. Understand instead that the veil is being drawn aside so you may behold a wider vision, a life expanded by heaven. What you call an ending is merely the preface for a new form of existence to arise, the soul freed from material bonds entering a realm of peace where weakness is transfigured into wholeness. Imagine a caterpillar within its chrysalis. The cramped, solitary exterior is not its final state, but the preparation for wings about to unfold. Likewise, your body with all its limitations is not your ultimate being. When earthly life ceases, the spiritual essence within you is not erased. It takes on a new shape, broadens its sight, and is granted the capacity to perceive depths you never knew before. This is not a permanent loss, but a celebration of release, a passage into the unveiled realm where love and truth meet. You will no longer be bound by the limits of time. The constraints of the flesh are removed, so the soul may drift within the treasury of grace. That means the things you loved, the relationships you tended, the pains and joys you experienced all are preserved and transformed into priceless treasures. Nothing is wasted under my gaze. Every tear, every prayer, every humble act I convert into a spring of new glory. Let this faith comfort you. The place you are going is a landscape of resurrection and renewal. If you worry that some task remains unfinished, let me soothe you with a promise: not everything ends the way you imagine. There are graces and promises beyond the reach of your understanding. Some matters will be completed by my vast hand. Do not let regret bind you. Instead, open your heart, knowing that he who holds wholeness will guide every fragment back to its place. And if there are accounts to settle between people, please make gestures of reconciliation while you can. Healed hearts become beacons that will guide you and many others. Remember, this event does not sever your bond with those you love. Rather, that connection is changed into a holier form more enduring than any earthly thing. True love does not diminish. It is renewed and extends forever. In that realm, you will recognize that every kindness you have given helped weave a radiant garment for the soul, an invisible inheritance that no thief can steal. When the fear of losing form dissolves, you will see joy arise, not the forgetfulness of what was, but the deep knowing that every trial was used to refine you. Every wound turned into compassion, and every anxious step brought you to the shore of rest. Embrace this hope as the Lord declared, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even though they die, will live." John 1:1-5. That scripture is not an empty promise, but the foundation for the faith you must cling to when mortal eyes can no longer see. So do not let your mind be unsettled by temporary partings. Make each remaining moment of your present life sacred. Warm, cold hearts offer apologies where needed, kindle hope in the discouraged, and sow seeds of love wherever you go. Living this way prepares you for a gentler passage into eternity, not by your own striving, but by a heart forged in grace. When the true hour comes, you will realize no loss is absolute, only a great metamorphosis. No farewell is bitter to the bone, only a warm welcome from the one who made you. Believe this, live by it, and let that belief flow through every word, every action, every step you take. For a new life waits, and I will receive you into a realm where light never dims and love never fades. My beloved child, I have seen not with human eyes, but with the sight of the one who knows all things, the quiet perseverance that lives behind every look of yours. It is an endurance that makes no noise, needs no display. It is like a small candle burning through the night, holding its flame when the wind gusts, giving warmth to those who pass by. Those eyes of yours have at times been weary, at times heavy with sorrow, yet deep within there is always an undying spark, a guiding light that lifts you over thorns without making you falter. I see in you an open, compassionate heart, always turned toward parched lives, ready to stoop and gather another's scattered faith. You have given, through simple acts, a sincere question, a hand to steady the one who stumbled, a silent presence when it was needed most. These things may seem small in the world's eyes, but from the heavenly vantage, they are the bricks that build the kingdom of love. I see myself reflected in those deeds, for when you love, I love through you. When you lift another, I lift through your voice and your hands. My beloved child, you have not merely skimmed through days as one passing through life. You have lived deeply with awareness, with responsibility, and with gratitude. A full life is not measured by fame or rewards, but by faithfulness in the smallest things. I have seen you weep for another's pain, laugh for a stranger's joy, and courageously accept responsibility when no one was watching. Those moments weave a sacred tapestry in which every thread holds eternal worth. Do not underestimate the invisible influence you create. A timely word of encouragement can alter the course of a life. A warm embrace can erase fear, and a single act of kindness can rekindle hope in a despairing heart. You have sown those seeds, and I have witnessed them grow quietly yet surely. There are seasons when you do not see the flowers, but I have seen the roots take hold. There are days when you feel insignificant, yet I see your work bearing fruit in the lives of others. Allow me to remind you that your dignity does not depend on the praise or criticism of the world. True value is found in living by truth, in remaining faithful to the calling I have placed in your heart. I do not demand that you be perfect. I ask that you be faithful, faithful in love, in service, in endurance, and in a humble spirit. Such faithfulness makes the difference because it transforms ordinary days into days of timeless significance. If you have ever doubted that your life matters, look back at the traces you have left: healthier relationships, hearts made whole, courageous steps others now emulate. Those are living proofs of a life lived rather than merely survived. I have seen you overcome many temptations, fight your fears, choose forgiveness when revenge would have seemed justified. Each such choice is a stone laid into a firm foundation for the next generation, so that they may walk a less thorny path because of people like you. I also want to comfort you in your weariness. If you feel weak, let me renew you. If you feel lonely, know that I am always near. The steadfastness you carry is not born entirely of yourself. It is the fruit of my grace, of the prayers you offer, and of the faith you hold. Do not be afraid when you stumble. That is part of learning and growing. What matters is that you rise, wipe away your tears, and continue forward with humility and courage. Let your life be a mirror for others. Live sincerely. Act to bring healing. Speak words that give life. Do not allow the noise of the world to drown the small but steady voice of conscience. Nurture compassion as a cool spring, so that you may draw and give to those who thirst. By doing so, you not only repay the grace you have received, but you also open doors for many souls to meet the light. And when you need a word to keep in your heart during difficult days, embrace the Scripture, for I am convinced that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Let that truth be your anchor, an anchor in the storms, an anchor amid doubts. This assurance will steady your steps so that you walk without fear, knowing that whatever you do in love will not be in vain. My beloved, in this sacred moment, I want you to remove every veil of fear and receive a simple yet powerful truth: you have never been alone. When you feel separated, when darkness surrounds you, and the whisper of loneliness makes you tremble, hear my voice. You are always in my embrace. Just as a small stream does not disappear when it flows into a great river, but is held and diffused into the vast ocean, so your life will be united with an endless sea of grace where every estrangement is healed. Do not treat moments of solitude as proof of abandonment. On the contrary, they are a silent liturgy in which your heart is polished and warmed. Every whispered longing, every tear shed in the night I gather, and keep not to discard but to transform into a new source for a glorious encounter. Those fragile emotions are the very material God uses to weave the resurrection garment for your soul. They will stand as testimony to the journey you have bravely walked. Imagine that the bond between you and me is not a fragile thread apt to snap, but a marvelous current, a connection that flows through every state of being. Even if your body grows weak, even if the world around you changes, that communion endures and runs deep. I do not come as a stranger. I dwell in your breath, in your sorrow, and your laughter, in the prayers you whisper in the night. As the promise declares, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. John 1:4-1:8. Let that word be the foundation of your faith, an anchor that holds you steady through every spiritual storm. You are not merely a passerby on the road. You are a chosen stream flowing back to the source. Every experience of yours, whether rapturous joy or searing pain, is preserved by me in the treasury of provision. The relationships you cultivate, the words of love you give, the quiet moments of endurance you bear, none are lost. They are transfigured and bind you more deeply to all of creation. When the great reunion comes, you will see that nothing was truly missing. All has been gathered and set in its right place beneath my light and justice. Do not fear that something within you remains unfinished. Perhaps you cannot yet see the whole picture, but I see it. There are blessings that will be fulfilled not by human strength, but by my saving hand and wisdom. Use the hours you have now to open your heart, heal the remnants of bitterness, make bold reconciliations where possible, and give extra compassion to those in need. This is how you prepare for the reunion, not with anxiousness, but with love in action. I give you a vision. Every loneliness will dissolve in the moment you realize you are wholly embraced by boundless love. That unity does not erase personality or memory. Rather, it honors each imprint you have left. The small stories you told, the kind deeds you did, the tears you shed, all are lifted up and turned into a song of redemption. In that merging, you understand that your identity is not erased, but glorified in a new depth, where the limitations of the flesh no longer bind perception. Let your heart rest in the assurance that my love surpasses all understanding. When the shadow of isolation falls, remember that being plunged into the ocean of love is not an ending, but a transfiguration. Your soul will expand, your awareness will be heightened, and longings will be satisfied in ways the natural eye cannot foresee. That is the gift reserved for those who place their trust, not in the safety of the world, but in the surety of the one who made all things. You may ask, how will I know I am ready to be embraced by that ocean? The answer is not a precise calculation, but a life that reflects love, living to forgive, to give, to courageously anchor hope in the Eternal One. When you choose love over fear, you begin to sketch the path toward union. Every small act, every prayer, every brave minute becomes a brick in the bridge that leads you home. And when you look around and see others still astray, become the gentle light that draws them to the shore. Your task is not merely to comfort yourself. You are invited to represent saving love, to remind others that they too have never been truly alone. The unity I bestow will become a fountain flowing through your hands to refresh thirsty souls. My beloved, let this moment transform how you live each day. Cast off the illusion of separation, embrace the truth of my unchanging presence, and walk with deep peace in your heart. Know that every remembrance, every anxiety, every whispered longing is heard and kept by me. The glorious reunion will come. When it does, you will see every wound healed, every distance mended, and every yearning heart made whole. My beloved child, your footsteps walk quietly along a path lit by the souls who went before you, not by a blinding glare, but by a gentle, steady glow like small lamps placed along the way. Each of those lamps is a life that rose above trial. Each light is a whispered testimony of experience, a lesson tempered by time and grace. As you look ahead, know this: you do not walk alone. Those who came before you have left footprints so that you might follow without losing your way. Those prints are often carved into the ground with blood, with tears, with unbowed faith, and it is they who illuminate the road that leads you toward peace. Remember every time you fell and then rose again. Each stumble is not an absolute failure, but a heavenly lesson meant for you to learn. At times you fell out of shame, at times from exhaustion, at times because you trusted yourself too fully. Yet each rising added another layer of courage, another steadfast brick to the foundation of your life. Those moments form a sacred sequence. Falling teaches you how to let go, standing teaches you how to walk in humility. And I always have seen you and upheld you through every cycle. The pure moments of love you have given an embrace that asks for nothing in return, a sincere word spoken when it was needed, an anonymous act of sharing, have healed the fractures in your soul more than any remedy. Such love does not vanish. It imprints upon the life it touches and then spreads outward. You may not see the fruit immediately, but I see the seedling sprout from these small deeds. Never despise the little, for often the little is the seed that brings a great harvest. When you sow love, I sow more. When you offer hope, I multiply life in another's heart. There are days when you felt submerged, when the burden of life pressed so heavily you could hardly breathe. I know each moment you felt weary, each sleepless night of anxious thought, Each morning you woke with fear still lodged in your heart, yet you rose. You continued to walk. That is true resilience, not the absence of fear, but the keeping of faith in the midst of it. In those empty spaces, I came to you in quiet ways, sometimes with an unspoken word of comfort, sometimes with a friend's hand upon your shoulder, sometimes with a sudden light within your spirit when you thought all hope was gone. I give you strength not to make you complacent, but to help you recognize the true source of power. I am that strength. In the quietest moments when the outer voices draw back and only the stillness within remains, I am by your side. I comfort you with a presence that needs no sound. I dwell in you as a hidden spring. Know that silence is not the absence of grace, but a way I speak. I am there even when you do not hear. As promised, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. John 1:4-18. Let this word be your anchor in every spiritual storm. Child, let your memory testify to the journey. Remember the times you stopped to forgive, the times you chose to give rather than to keep. Remember the occasions when you suffered loss so another might gain. Remember the prayers you offered in secret when no one knew. Those memories are not empty. They are treasures kept by heaven, evidence that your life had purpose. When you doubt the meaning of past joys and pains, return to the traces of love you have left behind. They are powerful proof that you have truly lived, not merely existed. I also call you to keep humility with every step. The true victor is the one who knows they need heavenly grace and who reaches out to their brothers and sisters. When you open your heart to learn from the souls who have gone before, when you accept counsel and allow yourself to be corrected, you will see the way become straighter, lighter. Do not let pride obscure the light from those lamps. Take that light and shine it for those who come after. Your glory is not meant to make you shine alone, but to become a landmark that guides others home. My beloved child, perhaps there remains in your heart a corner of doubt. Have I done enough? Is my life worthwhile? I answer you that the value of your life is not measured by the number of achievements, but by the depth of love you have given. A meaningful life is one that knows how to love, to redeem, to endure, and to hope. When you keep your heart turned toward service, everything you do, even the smallest acts, becomes joined to an endless current of grace. You are invited to continue walking, not to race against time, but to live each day with purpose, to untie a grudge, to mend a wound, to say I'm sorry when needed, and to lend another helping hand. Such steps elevate your life, turning even the gloomiest days into a season of preparation for greater light. Let your life be a song of praise, not merely in words, but in tangible deeds. When you look ahead and see a long road, do not be anxious. The lamps that have lighted your way will continue to shine. You do not have to find the path alone. You only need to follow the light. Keep your heart steady and trust that I am with you. Each soul that has guided you is proof that lives are linked together in love and wisdom. And when one day you look back, you will see a fulfilled journey, not because it was perfect, but because it was whole in love. Child of mine, the measure of the journey you travel is never the number of times you avoid suffering, but how you allow love to turn wounds into springs that nourish the soul. It is through tears and trials that you learn compassion, forgiveness, and where true strength comes from. The true beauty of life does not lie in outward perfection, but in the inner transformation from a fragile heart into a steadfast heart, from a broken spirit into an instrument of healing. The more you face pain, the more you discover that deep within, my light has never been extinguished. It burns quietly to guide you. Today, as you stand at the threshold of a great mystery, open wide your heart. Do not let fear bind you. Do not let dark memories hold you back. Receive the new things I am revealing. There are truths you can see only when you dare to leave your comfort zone, when you dare to believe you were made to step into something greater. Know that the small lights that have accompanied you throughout the journey will now join together into a blazing sun, leading you into the eternal realm of wisdom and grace. Do not fasten your heart to the past. Memories, whether joyful or sorrowful, have fulfilled their role. They taught you to love, to be patient, and to sacrifice. But if you keep gazing only backward, you will miss the splendor I am placing before you. Let the past be a foundation, not a chain. Let what has passed become a witness, not a barrier. for what I am preparing for you cannot be compared to what you have already endured. Do not cling to passing shadows. They are faint illusions not powerful enough to hold you. You were not made to live in regret or longing for what was. You were made to move forward, to expand, and to receive the radiance of the eternal. I want you to know that the light of eternity is not distant. It is calling you now. That light is not obscured by the fragile standards of the world, nor stained by human judgment or limitation. It is a light above all, reasoning, an undying, unblemished light that cannot be stolen. Remember what I have said. I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Romans 8:1-8. Let this truth be the foundation of your faith. All suffering is temporary, but eternal glory does not fade. When you grasp this, your heart will be freed from fear and from clinging to the temporary. You will see that every step, heavy or light, is leading you to a place filled with peace and splendor. Therefore, my beloved, step forward with courageous heart. Open your hands like one ready to receive new grace. Do not fear that you are not worthy. Worthiness is not something you manufacture. It is a gift I give. You need only believe and offer up what is lacking, broken, or weak. I will turn these into strength, into a pearl in your eternal crown. You are being called to step out of the darkness and into radiant light. Let your heart swell with hope. Let your eyes look forward toward the opening of the eternal door. Do not fear transformation, for it is the path to true freedom. Believe that every tear you have shed, every trial you have endured, is not meaningless. They are the witnesses of the love I have poured out on you. They are proof that you have been prepared for something far greater. My beloved child, as you take the final steps along this earthly road, pause for a moment and listen to my whisper the deeds you have done from the heart, the words of compassion, the humble gestures, the nights you spent awake in prayer do not vanish like smoke. They are inscribed deeply upon the sacred map of eternity. The legacy of mercy you leave behind is not merely the memory of those still living. It is a holy source, an invisible stream that will continue to refresh other souls, awaken hope in weary hearts, and heal wounds unseen by mortal eyes. Even when your body returns to dust, the echo of your heart will reverberate like a melody carried onward, touching generations you have never met. Child, understand that this passage I grant you is not a cold ending, but a gateway opening onto a larger reality that you have only glimpsed by faith. On the far side of the water, formal boundaries grow thin, and the soul is freer to perceive the depths of being that the body once obscured. You will not lose what makes you you. Rather, all that you loved, every wound you bore, everything you nurtured will be lifted up and shine in a new, purer, and fuller state. Those loving memories will become pearls of great value in the treasury of heaven, and from there they will continue to bless many generations. In the realm I am preparing, fellowship is no longer constrained by distance or time. You will feel clearly that you are no longer an isolated being. You will be woven into a marvelous network where every soul is connected by an invisible thread of love. The fragments of life you thought were separate will be joined into a unified tapestry, each piece playing a necessary role in the whole picture. Their laughter, breath, and even the pains that once brought you low, all will contribute to the richness of the moment when you are reunited with me and with your brothers and sisters. I want you to know precisely in the moments you felt smallest, I used that very weakness to refine you. The dark nights when you carried loneliness, the times you thought you would collapse, it was there. I placed my healing hand, and from those places, a heart capable of greater capacity was formed. The deep compassion you show others springs from your own real experience. That is what makes your words of comfort alive, what gives your simple acts the power to transform. When you pass through the eternal threshold, these qualities do not vanish. They are exalted and become a light that guides others home. Child, I do not demand that you be perfect in order to enter more deeply into that mystery. All I ask is a heart that has been shaped, a heart that chooses love over fear, a life that has spent most of its energy serving rather than merely accumulating. Small acts of faithfulness, quiet sacrifices, the times you chose forgiveness, when justice seemed to call for something else, all are of infinite value. No good deed is ever wasted. Each time you give love, you help build a world where justice and mercy converge. If at times you feel regret for what remains unfinished, let me remind you that many blessings I intend will continue to unfold by other hands by the souls you have touched. There are tasks I entrust to the relationships you planted. When you depart, those seedlings will continue to grow watered by my grace. So do not let regret dim the joy of having participated in the great work. Looking back, you will see the chain of connections you joined is itself a strand leading toward the fulfillment I promised. Lift your vision beyond the limits of words. Heaven is not merely a place to be pictured. It is a state of complete communion where the deepest meaning of love, peace, and justice is fully revealed. There, the mysteries that once stirred your heart will no longer be vague or fleeting. They will stand forth in full glory so that you may know every rightful longing is answered worthily in my hands. Do not fear the silence you may encounter when you leave this world. That silence is the space in which the soul listens to deeper sounds, the melodies of my kingdom. In that quiet, you will perceive the living rhythms of creation, every star, every breeze, every heart joining together in a sacred chorus. You will see that all the things that once astonished you, all the experiences that touched you with an almost holy sense, are now expanded into the infinite. And so that you may walk forward in peace, remember this promise: nothing can separate you from the love I have for you. Romans 8:3-8:39. That word is a firm foundation amid every change. When you place your trust in that promise, your heart will be still and your spirit will break into song. You will not become a nameless shadow lost in the vastness. You will be a light in the universe, a precious piece in my work. Let this moment be an encouragement to you. Continue to live with the awareness that every action you take sends ripples beyond time. Have the courage to let go of what is merely temporary. Embrace what endures. Prepare yourself with forgiveness. Complete what remains within your power, and speak the words of love that still dwell in your heart. For this is how you will depart in peace, confident that your legacy will live on and continue to bring healing. My beloved, when the final shadow of the body dissolves in that hush, you will step into a realm where every song of praise becomes reality. There, the mysterious will be revealed whole, not in fragments. The love you sowed will yield abundant harvest, and you will behold the full meaning of every journey. In that moment, you will understand that I did not deceive you when I called you home. I opened a wider gate, a realm where love, wisdom, and life converge forever. May the Lord's word continually remind you to live each day in His faith and love. Please hit follow and turn on notifications so you won't miss the sacred and meaningful messages God intends to convey. May God bless you. Amen.